Good morning, children. I hope you had a great week and I hope you had an awesome Easter. I have a super cool story to tell you today. But before, let me remind you or remember. Do you remember the story of Easter? I hope you do because it was a very special Sunday. So remember when Jesus died and he was buried in this big stone tomb? They put a big stone in front of it because that's how they buried people at that time. And then on the third day when Mary went to visit, she went very early in the morning when nobody was there. But when she got there, she was so surprised. The stone, that heavy stone, had been moved. She couldn't believe. She first thought, oh my goodness, what happened? Did somebody steal Jesus' body? But she was so happy that she found out there was a man standing there. She first thought was the gardener, but it was actually Jesus. He had resurrected. Jesus is alive. He resurrected. Isn't that wonderful news? So I hope you had a lot of fun and time to celebrate. Now, I know there's all that part of chocolate and looking for the Easter Bunny, what the Easter Bunny brought us. And that's fun too, right? Because Easter is the time where we celebrate new things, new life. And the chocolate and the colorful things that we get on for Easter are also reminders for us of new life, of things we can celebrate, like we celebrate the life of Jesus, for Jesus being with us. And today, the story I'm going to tell you, it's called Breakfast on the Beach. Have any of you ever had breakfast on the beach? Now, I have because I grew up near a beach. However, here where we live, it's quite cold and really the weather hasn't been that great, right? But we still can celebrate and talk about this. And at that time, the disciples used to go fishing and they used to eat fish and bread. I even brought a super cool bread today to share, and it's an Easter bread. Look at this, oopsie, colorful bread. Isn't it amazing? I got it as a present for Easter and I love it. And I tell you what, it's delicious. So grab something for you to eat while you hear the story. You're gonna have fun. So let's have breakfast together. Now, you might not really like to eat fish, or some people don't even like to eat bread. I love to eat bread. And quite frankly, I love to eat fish too. But you don't have to. So grab anything that you like to eat for us to listen to the story this week. The season of Easter lasts for 50 days and ends with Pentecost. So for those 50 days, we're gonna hear the story of Jesus' resurrection. And today, the story I'm gonna tell you, it's from the Gospel of John, chapter 21, verses 1 to 19. Breakfast on the beach. Peter said to his friends, "I'm going fishing." They all grabbed their nets. Look, I brought a net to tell you this story. A big fishing net. So the disciples all brought their net, grabbed their nets, and the disciples fished all night long. Can you imagine? But they never caught any fish. Have you ever gone fishing? In the morning, a man appeared on the shore. The man called out, "If you cast your net to the other side of the boat, you will catch some fish." The disciples weren't sure, but they tried. Let's pretend I'm on a boat. Oops. And I'm trying to put my net on the other side. This time, guess what happened? They caught so many fishes that they couldn't even pull the net. It was so heavy because they got all those fishes that they couldn't even pull it. Look, the man on the shore, it's Jesus, said John. Peter jumped out of the boat and went to Jesus. The other disciples followed him. Bring some fish, and we can eat all some fish and bread for breakfast. So Jesus took the fish and the bread, said a prayer to God, and shared the food with them. When they finished eating breakfast on the beach, Jesus asked Peter a question. Peter, do you love me? Peter answered, yes, Jesus, you know that I love you. Jesus said to Peter, feed my lambs, share God's love with everyone. Jesus asked him again, Peter, do you love me? Peter answered, yes, Jesus, you know that I love you. Jesus said to Peter, take care of my sheep. Jesus asked him again, Peter, do you love me? Peter was very sad that Jesus asked him a third time if he loved Jesus. Peter answered, yes, Jesus, you know everything. You know that I love you. You are my best friend. Jesus said to him, feed my sheep, follow my example. Why do you think that Jesus asked Peter to show God's love to everyone? Any guesses? Well, let's see. Have you ever gone fishing? And have you ever waited a long time until you caught something? Or maybe you didn't catch anything at all. It happens, right? Because that's how fishing goes. Now, I know most of you might have used a pole fishing and not a big net like this one. See? It's hard to throw it. But so can you imagine they spend the whole night there fishing and they couldn't catch any fish. And then there comes a man and tells them, just throw the net on the other side. Silly, huh? They thought, well, since we have been here for so long, why not try? And they did, and all of a sudden, they got so many fishes that they didn't even, they was so hard to lift that it was hard for them to even pull the net. And then they finally realized that that person who told them that was Jesus, their friend, the person that they most loved in life. But remember, Jesus had died, so he resurrected and was with them again. Isn't that awesome and amazing? Can you imagine being on the beach fishing and all of a sudden your best friend comes along and sits down there with you and has some breakfast with you again? Now, I wonder, what do you think Jesus meant for Peter when he asked him to make sure that Peter really loved him? And Peter said, of course I do. So Jesus tells him, then go and do what? Feed my lambs, share God's love with everyone. What did he mean with that? He meant to go out and tell the good news about Jesus and invite more people to be friends with him and love everyone and don't differentiate. Just love everybody just like Jesus does. He also said to Peter, take care of my sheep. Now, do you think Jesus had sheep? Not really, right? It meant people. Everybody we encounter. Now, what can we do? What could you do? Can you think about something? Well, you can help a neighbor, you can hug somebody that you know, you can send somebody a card, there's so many things we can do to share God's love. That doesn't necessarily mean what Jesus said, but what Jesus said means exactly that. Do whatever you can to love the people around you, because that's what Jesus wanted you to do. So I hope you have a great week, that you go out and do some good fishing with whatever you can, do good things, and love the way Jesus loves you. And now I'd like to teach you a little song about the story that I told you today. And it's a song I love. I learned as I was a little child, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it too. So I'm gonna put a little background sound just to sing along. So sing with me. We're gonna put the letters of the song here so you can sing along. Peter, James, and John in a sailboat. Peter, James, and John in a sailboat. Peter, James, and John in a sailboat out on the deep blue sea. Fished all night, and they caught no fishes. Fished all night, and they caught no fishes. Fished all night, and they caught no fishes out on the deep blue sea. Jesus said to throw the net again. Jesus said to throw the net again. Jesus said to throw the net again out on the blue sea. They pulled the net full of little fishes. They pulled the net full of little fishes. They pulled the net full of little fishes out in the deep blue sea. Again. Peter, James, and John in a sailboat. Peter, James, and John in a sailboat. Peter, James, and John in a sailboat out on the deep blue sea. Fished all night, and they caught no fishes. Fished all night, and they caught no fishes. Fished all night, and they caught no fishes out in the deep blue sea. Jesus said to throw the net again. Jesus said to throw the net again. Jesus said to throw the net again out on the deep blue sea. They pulled the net full of little fishes. They pulled the net full of little fishes. They pulled the net full of little fishes out on the deep blue sea. Out in the deep blue sea, out in the deep blue sea. Isn't it a fun song? I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you can sing along. And I see you next time.